This is the New York Sports Machine on WICR.
What's up, everyone? Antonio Coppola, Thomas Meehan back with you on this Friday, October 30th, the day before Halloween. And Tom, any big plans for Halloween? Just kind of winging it?
Yeah, I kind of just threw together a whole idea. I'm just going to go as like an 80s kind of trifecta. Last night I was Rick Vaughn, Wild Thing from Major League. Tonight I'm going to be Bender from Breakfast Club. And Saturday I'm going to be Cameron Fry from Ferris Bueller, which is my favorite movie. So I'm just doing a nice 80s thing. I have all this stuff at home. The best part about it is it's cheap because I'm not spending any money. I have it. So that's it.
There you go.
As a broke college kid,
I'm going the same route. I'm just going to kind of invent my own thing. And I'll wing it for tomorrow night. But we got to get into some baseball because the World Series started. Obviously, the Mets, the hometown team for us New Yorkers, in it, and they're down 0-2. Now, they went to Kansas City, and they lost both games. Give me your take on – let's recap the two games. Give me your take on how you think things play out. Because obviously the first game went to 14 innings, and the Mets, it was just a disappointing game. Yeah,
it was unfortunate for them. First game – as opposed to the second game, they kept the score tight. They kept it low. They were tied. They had the game tied for a long time. Unfortunately, Kansas City hit the tying home run, but it wasn't a blowout like game two.
Right.
And I mean, from seeing it that way, that's kind of like their potential. It's not like they're just completely been completely figured out by their offense. So game two, I mean, it looks like they figured out DeGrom, but I mean, I don't know. I think the game two is just kind of a bad shot for them, and I mean, thankfully it's not. It matters a lot, but thankfully it's not like a game seven kind of loss.
No, I agree.
They have more chances. I'm trying to say.
Yeah, game two was, and we'll get into the more chances because they do play tonight with Syndergaard on the hill. But you mentioned game two, how it kind of just slipped away right from the get-go. It was a blowout. They didn't really stand a chance. Cueto pitched an amazing game.
As a Yankee fan, I was frustrated.
Yeah.
I'm not even I'm not even supposed to be this mad for this team, but they just couldn't hit, and it was
right.
They got two hits.
Yeah, they got two hits. Duda with both of those hits, and you mentioned DeGrom, so they figured him out. I mean, I think the biggest thing from a Royals standpoint is that those guys don't strike out at all.
No.
I think
he had him at the count like 3-2, just everything.
Yeah,
he had
two
strikes so many
and
times.
They would just put the ball in play.
That's exactly.
I think Harvey and DeGrom combined had 4 strikeouts in those first 2 games, and that's just.
This is gonna be tough.
You can't. The Mets won't win with Harvey and DeGrom striking out 4 people in 2 games.
Especially Murphy. Everyone expected.
Yeah,
him.
Murphy. I mean, David Wright has struggled. Cespedes is 1 for 10 in the series. There's a lot. There's a lot going wrong for the Mets right now. And going back to that game 1, you mentioned the game-tying home run with 1 out in the 9th inning. The Mets had that game in hand. They put in their closer, Yeris Familia, who's been a sure thing throughout the playoffs, hasn't blown a save since I think the end of July, and he comes in there and he gives up a home run. And I think that was kind of the turning point of the series because up to there, like the first 8 innings of the game, up to that point, the Mets kind of dominated that game. They were playing the way they played against the Dodgers and Chicago, manufacturing runs, stealing bases, and just figuring out a way to get guys home. And they were scoring, enough to win. And then Yeris Familia comes in and gives up the home run.
It's almost like game 2 was like an aftershock to like how what happened in game 1. It's like just the momentum was just gone, and they just like suffered so hard in game 2.
Well, no, I was gonna say now the series comes back home for 3 games starting tonight. They've got Syndergaard on the mound, who is a strikeout pitcher, and that's got to worry you if you're a Met fan. Obviously, it's his first year in the league. We're gonna see what he can do. It's the World Series. He's got to lay it all out on the line.
Yeah.
He's a power pitcher. I mean, I think Syndergaard's known to pitch better at home, so I think he's gonna be fine. But if Kansas City gets to him early, man, I don't know if the Mets are gonna be able to recover.
I mean, I think I don't know. The one thing I feel like they obviously have on the side is the home field advantage, and I feel like that place is gonna be just like tremendous. They got Billy Joel singing in the beginning of the game. Like there's going to be a huge
Mike Piazza
crazy,
throwing out the first pitch.
Exactly. It's going to be a crazy environment, and I don't know. I feel like they can't. I don't even know. I just feel like they're not going to lose this game. I don't know. I feel like they'll get the win on this one.
They have to win.
I mean, this has been a must-win as there ever was.
Right, and then winning tonight will push the series to 2-1. Tomorrow, Steven Matz will take them out, and he's another question mark. He's only pitched in a handful of games this season. He's in and out of the lineup with injuries.
Yeah, that's tough. It's tough to see what
I
he
mean,
can do. But
It's scary. And then say the Mets win these next two games, they have that final game at home, Game 5. And I think it's kind of a toss-up. Do you start Harvey or do you go back to DeGrom? Terry Collins is going to have to figure something out. But all of this is a moot point if the Mets don't hit, because if they don't hit, they're going to be done soon. They could even face getting swept,
yeah,
which would be very, very
that-
disappointing to see.
and almost ironic compared to what
Right?
happened just
Yeah,
before.
they sweep Chicago, and I mean that's another thing. After sweeping Chicago, Tom, they had that rest period. They were off for almost 6 days, and their
Yeah.
bats were so hot in
Yeah,
the
and what-
Chicago
and
series,
what's
and now
happening?
I think they just
This
cooled
is
off.
horrible.
I mean that rest really killed them, and I know there's a lot of talk about it going into the World Series, well, whether or not the Mets would be able to deal with that long period of rest. And then Cespedes hurting his shoulder, he had to get a cortisone shot. A lot has gone on.
It's just people. The team players can slump. And
Yeah.
and like what? I think last time we talked, I was probably talking about how they're on a hot streak and it's the best shot that they have right now, and they're looking great. And it's kind of shocking to see that they're really not. They don't have that fire right now, and it's pretty bad.
No,
and hopefully they
absolutely.
pick it up tonight because they need this.
They have to, yeah.
Otherwise,
this
it's
is their last
very
chance.
their chances slim to none.
This is as must win as a must win gets. Now, give me your. I want. I mean, we did our predictions last week, but has your prediction changed? Do you still have the Mets winning?
I
And
s-
if not,
I have it in 7. Mets in 7.
you have the Mets in 7.
And I think right now the way this is going, I think they're gonna have to go to 7. I don't see them just
Yeah.
going off. Like I don't know. I think tonight they're gonna get it, and then the next games are just gonna be very very close. And it's definitely I think it's gonna go. To
I had the
7.
Mets in 6. Now, obviously, for that to happen, they would have to win the next 4 games.
Mhm.
But it's not.
It's not unlikely.
It's
but
not
right
impossible.
From what we've seen, it's unlikely.
In
but-
1996, the Yankees Braves World Series, the Braves kind of had like the best pitching staff in the league, the most potent. They had John Smoltz, Greg Maddux, and those guys. The Yankees hosted the first 2 games of the series at home at Yankee Stadium. The Braves took those first 2 games. Yankees go down 0-2, and they win the next 4 games. So, I mean, maybe the Mets can find some of that magic and win 4 straight, but it's like you said, it's very unlikely.
Yeah,
I think it's going to go 7 if the Mets, happen to win the next couple games.
I hope they win. I really do. I just for New York's sake, I just like to see New York on top. I'll be happy about that. That's
Yeah.
all. I really hope they win.
Me too. All right, well, Tom, we're gonna break this segment off, but we're gonna be back here next week, everyone, to break everything down. Hopefully, we're still talking about the Mets in the World Series, and hopefully everything goes well for them tonight and over the weekend. Have a good and safe Halloween, everybody, and we'll be back next week.
Take care, guys. Have a good weekend.